get as many workers as possible processing that mixed waste. I'm going to tell you my idea for how to get homeless people to work more. Okay, this is my idea. So quite often, people complain about homeless people who have a drug addiction usually, and usually it's a bad drug. And I was thinking, what and they like a lot of homeless people actually try to do contribute, like they'll pick up cans and stuff like that, and they do little things, but there's no structure to them, and no one like they're drug addicts. They what can you do, right? It's the way that they have an addictive nature. So my idea to make it so that we can get some homeless people to work is little shops that allow homeless people to work there in exchange for weed. You give them weed, and then they show up for work. And the boss shows up with a bag of weed and says, "Here's your weed for your shift." And maybe they get a little bit of money too, but they're allowed to work while high. And I think this has two benefits. First off, they could earn a little bit of money and be productive as well. Like they might clean things up. They might be street cleaners. They might, but you're allowed to do it while high. This would encourage them to do it. If you have this criteria where they can't take drugs, they're gonna just take the worst drugs and be a much worse problem. So just be reasonable. Just give them weed, nothing worse, right? And I think the other benefit to this too is it kind of like if you're high on weed all the time, you're not going to be able to get the cravings for other drugs. So it could actually legitimately solve worse addiction problems. So, my theory is if you give homeless people, like not free weed, but, well, no, free weed, but allow them to do that jobs while high on their weed, they will then be able to uh, uh, wean themselves off worse drugs and become a bit more of a contributing member of society. But these rich idiots in charge of things with the strict rules don't understand this, and we might never see that. And their ignorance will cost the lives of a lot of people, and that's just the reality of it. But if there is someone out there listening to that idea, and has a shop in an area, like, hey, why don't I just try this out, get some weed and give it to some people, and you clean up around here, or you just do some task you don't have to be super mentally focused for something. Maybe it's an accounting task, an accounting job, who knows, right? Something that's not essential, but someone has to do it. I think this would be a good use.